Welcome in, welcome friends to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique Seahawks preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. And of course, it could not be, we could not traverse the Seahawks multiverse without the protector of that multiverse, and that is Mr. Phil Leidick. Boys, we got a big win last week. Boys, we got a big old team coming to the PNW this week. Boys, I am fired up to talk Bills at Seahawks, week 8, new linebackers, people coming back. Seahawks are fired up. Let's rock and roll. Brandon, how are you, bud?
I'm feeling good. I'm ready to get another win, back-to-back win for our Seahawks because, as we all know, with Byron Murphy in the lineup, the Seahawks can't lose. And we're expecting him to be there and help us get the win once again this week.
Mr. Phil, the math simply does not lie, nor does Brandon with Byron Murphy, undefeated, 4-0. Can the good times keep a rolling, Mr. Phil? And how are you doing, buddy?
As a professional NFL player, the man I was hoping we would draft, who we ended up drafting, is undefeated. What a great showing. Love how the season's going. I don't even know if any other games have happened this year other than the Byron Murphy games, but he's playing, so he's gonna keep his streak going. That's my anticipation for him as long as he plays football.
Yeah, for sure. And for those that are dialing in, of course, we want you to do a couple of things because they're free, they're awesome, they're easy. YouTube.com/Seahawkers podcast. If you're watching it out there now, because we're live right now, make sure you're hitting that like button. That helps. Drop the comments. That really helps. Share this with 1212s. And of course, subscribe, grow the Hawk Grubb. We are still marching towards 5,000 subscribers. And then, of course, we are always getting inspiration and motivation from our members in the Discord out on Facebook. Brandon, if folks want to join in there, where should they go?
Getintheflock.com. Join us there. And hey, if you're going to the game this weekend, we have a channel to where you'll find all the meetup information as we're getting together on Saturday night ahead of the game, getting together Sunday post game. We've got a new meetup spot that we want to check out. So getintheflock.com, join our Discord, and we can all hang out together and watch football.
All right. And speaking of hanging out and watching some football, we are doing this live. It is Thursday Night Football, and the Rams are currently winning by 1 versus the Vikings at home. About 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We'll keep you posted as well. Looks like the Rams just stuffed them to force me. I don't know. They might go for it on fourth. They might kick a field goal. We'll see how it goes. Either way, go Vikings. Let's hope they pull that one out. Mr. Phil, I know that every single week you like to look at the team that's about to come our way and tell the world and the flock what you saw, and you called a certain thing. Please take it away. What'd you learn about these Buffalo Bills?
We are going to do a short version of Previously with a Protector. We'll also get to our Wishing Well, where folks in the Discord have put in their What If Super Hawk, what they're hoping to see this game. Since we're having a live show, I thought I'd throw it out there. How about we have a Wishing Well throughout the show? If you want to throw in a wish that you have for this particular game or a What If Super Hawk, drop it in. Maybe Brandon will throw it on screen for you. But I did watch the Bills last week. I started out feeling pretty good about what I saw because the Bills came out pretty flat, pretty gross to start. I was like, oh, Titans are running the ball on them. Looks like they're getting some push, getting some lanes opening. So I will mention they right now are the 5th team by DVOA, but they are no doubt a top 5 team, if not better than that overall. Their defense is 9th. Their offense is 2nd. For perspective, our Hawks are 10th. So to give you an idea, but their defense is 9th by DVOA. I did see some cracks in it. Their run game looked undisciplined in the beginning of the game. Here's what was really hard for me. There was this quarterback that was playing for the Titans. His name is Mason Rudolph, and not a good showing. Made it tough for me to determine much about their defensive backfield. Much about his pocket presence was pretty poor. So I had a hard time really ascertaining what this defense is all about because Rudolph was definitely having a not good game. Then the defense in the second half for the Bills was just awesome. Like, shut them down. All those running lanes seemed to disappear. I was highly impressed. But again, I mean, when you're not worried about the quarterback, why don't you just shut down the running game? So that was tough to tell. Their offense, 2nd by DVO. Again, I didn't see, I looked at all the numbers. I know how great they are. They're the top team in scoring. but they were pretty clunky and explosive. It's like it seemed kind of hit and miss. Obviously, Allen making all kinds of awesome throws. Hasn't thrown a pick this year. Their whole team has like 2 fumbles. That's their only turnovers. 3 receivers all do their own thing pretty well. Cooper's new to the team. Had a nifty touchdown, some other good catches. Seemed like when he was at the Browns, he was Captain Stonehands, but he was catching balls pretty well for Allen. Shakir, pretty shifty. Number 10. Coleman was very explosive. 4 catches for like 125. Seemed like if he got anywhere around the ball, there was a chance for a huge play. Cook and Davis, their running backs, didn't need to do hardly anything because the passing game carried the day for them and the defense had shut the Titans down. You guys see this game any differently?
No, this was a pretty straightforward game. I feel like, though, the Bills have struggled a little bit when they face teams who are really good at running the football. I think our team has the ability to do that. We didn't see that from the Titans, but maybe that's something we can get into as we explore this game coming up.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is the Bills put such a waxing on them that it made Tennessee give up on their year and trade really good players, and one of them to us. So I appreciate that. So thank you, Buffalo, for doing that.
That was a big win. Have to take it. Yeah, and again, the Titans started out pretty good, and then it just all went away about 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. We need to get to our theme. Our theme is, guess what we have in this matchup? You guys are going to a big-time NFL matchup with all of the Flockers that are heading there. We have 2 division leaders. And of course, the Bills are just crushing their division because the rest of their division is doggy poo-poo. They're up by 3 games, 2.5, however you want to add it up. We are number 1 in ours currently, and we still will be, even if the Lambs sneak their way in tonight. I think we'll still be up by a half. So either way, you got a game of 2 division leaders. Pretty exciting, pretty big matchup. So I'm going to put all of our categories with the word leader. And I believe, let me see, I got to add it up. We get to an even numbered game for us, which means it will be Clinton first. We have born leader, co-leader, supreme leader, follow the leader, emotional leader, and majority leader. Here's what I'll say. The question isn't necessarily what those 2 words would be together. I'm kind of having fun with the 1 word in the category just to give you a heads up. But you know how I am. I could just basically ask whatever I want and throw the word in there. But Clinton, you get to pick the first word and find the question behind it. What would you like?
Well, first, I definitely want to like and recognize our Ryan 911. Once again, the 999 super chat, our executive live producer. Brandon, what can we say about Ryan besides, thank you and all the love? What else?
Yeah, all the good things. He's our live executive producer for a reason. He has his notifications turned on because he is always here every time we do a show, and he is coming in. Everybody should be like Ryan. Now, you don't have to donate like every single time like Ryan, but just, show up when we decide to do a show, and having those notifications on YouTube really helps a lot.
A true leader, a leader of the flock. He's a leader of the pack for live shows, no doubt.
Absolutely. So in his honor, let us then choose supreme leader. Give me a second. I'm traveling for work. Air conditioner just kicked on at the best time. 1 segundo. I'll be right back. But supreme leader in honor of Ryan.
I don't even hear it, but that's okay. I'm glad he's fixing it. We will look at this supreme leader category. When you think of supreme leaders, Brandon, what do you think of?
Oh gosh. Well, the quarterback of the team is obviously going to be the leader on each side of the ball. We've even got some leaders following your directions and leading the rest of the chat by putting in their wishes and saying, hopefully EJ4 plays with the fire for the Hawks like he played against the Hawks, like when he was with the Rams. Go Hawks from James. Got a wish for a woolen and spoon takeaway. And nice topics, Phil. Ryan saying, I accept this honor.
He's the supreme leader. And sometimes supreme leaders can be, titles for people that dictate bad countries. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about a couple of great guys, couple guys we respect. What if we talk quarterbacks? You went right to quarterbacks off the top, Clinton. Nice. Both are having supreme seasons in their own way. Allen is having a phenomenal passer rating season. Again, the no picks. Geno leading the league, I believe, last I checked, with passing. Do either of them have a specific advantage against the defense that they'll be facing this Sunday? Again, the game I saw was tough to tell because Rudolph was there. But what's something you see from either of them, or maybe each of them, that you expect they're going to have a good advantage in?
Yeah, I will start with our guy because he's
Okay.
our guy, right? I'll start with Gino. One thing that Seattle has done a lot more of this year in the Grubb offense, and while we've had some, I think, hits and misses with the fluidity of the Grubb offense, maybe the stubbornness sometimes of the Grubb offense, um, there definitely been some high highs, and I think one of them has been the ability to access the running backs in the passing game, and to do that either with volume. A couple of games in a row, you saw Ken Walker with 8 receptions, 7 receptions, 5, I think, a couple weeks before that. Last week was only 2, but one of those 2 is a nice wheel route for a touchdown. And K9's dancing in the end zone with a really nice grab. Buffalo is not good against they do not protect well against running backs out of the backfield. So I just expect a bit more of that. And where Buffalo I think is pretty good is their DB room, right? So the dudes, safeties are okay. Hamlin's kind of slow. Rapp is okay, but Razu Douglas, Christian Benford, and I think it's Taron or Taron Johnson, really good slot corner. They have a good DB room, good cornerbacks. So the stuff underneath and the leak outs, I think Gino could have a lot of success there. And then that's in addition to Gino just being Gino. He's very good anyway. He's going to find his openings. But that's the area. In fact, I'll just pause there and say that's my answer. More K9, more of a three down threat, and Gino and Grubb accessing that, I think, on repeat over the Bills, who have showed a penchant for not being able to cover that whatsoever.
Anything you want to say about Allen, or you want to leave all that for Brandon?
I'll leave it to Brandon. He can talk Gino too if he wants. But there's the only thing I'll say about Allen is I respect the crap out of his game. And I think it's about time he gets a turnover or 2 this year because he does huck the ball up. So, but the rest of it, Brandon, all yours.
Yeah, one of the things about Josh Allen is that he has a really good offensive line this season, and so he does pretty well because he doesn't have to face that pressure against the Titans. Specifically, he didn't face a whole lot of pressure. I guess in terms of his pressure rate, he is on the season at like 36%, which it feels really good because Gino's like at 50. But when he does get that clean pocket, the dude is really, really good. Has over 1,000 yards from a clean pocket, has nearly double-digit touchdowns from a clean pocket. And so it really is going to come down to whether or not our Seahawks can rattle him a little bit, get him under pressure, because that's when his completion percentage ends up dropping from 74% from a clean pocket all the way down to about 40%.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, that could be a difference maker if we're able to get some pressure on Mr. Allen.
And anything that you think where Gino has an advantage against this defense?
I think Gino's advantage has just been his shiftiness inside the pocket in terms of being able to, and I don't think that's like a distinct advantage over what Josh Allen's able to do. Allen is actually, I think he's more willing to tuck it and run dudes over, whereas Gino's looking downfield a little bit more. But just his ability that, again, with a Buffalo Bills defensive line that's probably going to be pretty good at getting pressure on Gino, we're going to need him to show that special quality that he has of being able to dance around the pocket and maneuver a little bit.
His pocket presence is such a joy to watch after the years of different things that we've seen. I love how Gino moves around, gets rid of the ball. Brandon, you are next on the choice. Which category?
All right. Let's go with emotional leader.
Emotional leader, a little different area of questioning than I typically have, but I think it's a consideration. You guys are going to be there cheering on the home team. The fans want to see the fans get some energy into our players, right? So what if the Hawks emotional leaders can finally capitalize on a big home game? Who are you calling on to lead the charge for our team, Brandon?
Yeah, when I think of emotional leaders, there's two guys, and they're both defensive backs for our Seahawks that I think of as emotional leaders. It's Julian Love and it is Devin Witherspoon. And if we can get those guys involved in making some big plays early, getting that defense fired up so the crowd is making a bunch of noise for Josh Allen and they're having to fight that all throughout the game. I think having those big plays, some big hits early, some third down stops early can really help get the crowd behind them, and then ultimately make it a little bit tougher on this Bills offense.
I love that. How about you, Clinton? Who are you calling on? Emotional leader.
I'm also going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. And when Brandon was saying, hey, there's these two players, I was like, oh, I think he's going to go here. He left it on the board for me, so I'm grateful for that. They might not be the loudest guys in the locker room. They might not be the loudest guys in the field, but their play is more than speaking for itself and for themselves. And for me, that's this duo that the league is really beginning to notice. That is Derek Hall and Boye Mafe. And they're, besides being good at the edge, Mafe is a really good run defender. I'd say Hall's definitely above average, and Mafe is quite good at setting the edge. Beyond that, they cause a lot of negative plays. Mafe is the one getting his hands up there. Hall is sledding dudes and putting them on their heels and just getting like crumple zone pressure on quarterbacks. Now, Allen's going to piss us off because 2 to 3 to 5 times this game, it's going to be one of those, we think we have him in the grasp or he's right on the cusp of a sack, and he does Josh Allen things. He's like a way more nimble Big Ben with that kind of strength still.
Yeah.
With all that, look, I think we're going to need some, like we got last game, I think we're going to need some big plays that are like heavily negative impacting the Bills. And for those, it's not just like steady Eddie. It's not just great run D from Byron Murphy, who's awesome and he causes his own problems. But we're going to need some really kind of bombastic plays, I think, to tilt the field and get Josh doing Josh things. He will take risks, and he's not afraid to take risks whatsoever. And he's loose with the ball too. He fumbles more often than you think he would. So anyway, that's the answer. It's Mafe, it's Hall. Let their play speak for itself because it's speaking pretty loud lately.
Yeah. Hopefully they get us fired up. Allen terrifies me. He gets rid of the ball so quick, like he didn't know he was going to do something. All of a sudden, the ball's down the field. It's almost a Marino quality on top of a guy that's mobile. He's scary at any moment.
He's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so we did the emotional leader. That was a different direction than usual. Clinton, where are we going to go next?
All right, let us go. Oh, I'm going to go born leader.
Born leader.
Maybe I was born leader.
You were born to be a leader.
You wanted to go with the Springsteen reference, and then you just decided midstream it wasn't going to work.
It just wasn't going to work, so I just stopped it. Yeah.
One thing, if you sing some Springsteen, I guarantee you'll be more on pitch than Springsteen. So it'll be just fun. Clinton, what if some successes born last week can prove themselves this week? Give the baby step you most want to see exhibited in this matchup. In other words, this is a reality now. It's not just we had a little flash in the pan.
This one for me is pretty simple. We covered it on 3 in 3 out. It was the first in. I gave it to Dodson because I was seeing improvements with his run fits.
Okay.
Didn't talk about Baker, and he's now gone. But yeah. Dodson had some nice improvements with the run fits, and now he gets to slide over, right? And with Ernest Jones coming to town, I think we just get this multiplication effect of a pro linebacker that can slide right into the system and understands already the exact type of run fits that McDonald wants to do. We've talked about it a lot, where you got to, from a linebacking position, kind of have one foot in one gap, but still keying on the running back and seeing what decision he's making. The scheme makes that happen. It's supposed to make that happen, and quickly adjust, if need be, into the other gap where Baker was guessing and guessing wrong a lot and, getting upfield too much, and big holes were opening. So the combination of Dodson continuing to progress, a little bit of relief for Dodson because he gets to go play the other linebacker position, and then just getting an upgrade with Ernest Jones. And I think he's slated to play. I think they want him to play, right? Is the word in the street.
Yeah.
And scheme wise, it's really funny to me that a player could just leave a team, but a linebacker is a linebacker is a linebacker.
Yeah.
And then especially scheme wise like this, just understand how to pick it up and go play football. And he just played the Bills. So that's cool too. But that's the progress I'm looking for, Phil, is increasing the consistency with our run fits, just incrementally getting better. I've seen it 2 weeks in a row, and I think this will be a great thing to make it a hat trick.
Yeah, they said he's not going to probably have the green dot, but I mean, a Mike linebacker outside of that is okay. What's the call? Do I drop? Do I go? Where's my fit? Just get there and do football stuff. So
yeah,
Mike thinks he's playing, so let's see him.
Nice.
Brandon, how about you? Something born last week. You hope we can see it begin to be established this week.
Yeah, I feel like we got a little bit away from having a solid pass rush and we were on that losing streak. And what we saw up against the Falcons is we saw consistent enough pressure on Cousins that it really started to get rattled, especially when it got to the third quarter and the fourth quarter. He's sailing passes over guys because he has pressure up the middle. And so I do think that having Byron Murphy back in the middle, it really is going to help with that. And it's going to be really important to have that too against Josh Allen and these Bills. Now, he's really good at getting away from sacks. The Bills don't give up. I think in terms of pressure rate, their offensive line has given up half as many pressures as our Seahawks offensive line. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult against the Bills, and getting sacks is almost Josh Allen's been sacked 3 times. So it's asking a lot to try and get sacks, but I think it's that importance of getting pressure and making Allen a little bit uncomfortable that's going to lead to some of those downfield incompletions.
Love it.
All right.
Love it. And Phil, as you're going on to, nice comment here from Cameron. There are a lot of leaders on the team, especially on the defense, and basically saying you can see them all leading the game, and then saying that Ernest Jones is giving off some Earl Thomas-like vibes with the way he plays football. And it's continuing a different comment saying, thinking that he found a home with us here, which would be super cool because the Rams kind of traded him for a bag of peanuts when that didn't make a lot of sense. And then Tennessee flips him for even a higher pick. Good job by Tennessee from a GM perspective. But we may be the benefactor who actually did the best here, because I think we got a pretty good linebacker. So, but nice conversation by Cameron there.
Yeah, I hated him on the Lamb, so I'm glad to have it.
Yeah.
And it was funny because a lot of people are pointing out a comment of his about his
I love that.
favorite team to beat or whatever, and it was the Seahawks. And so if he can turn that vibe around. I think he was even asked about it by one of the reporters, and he says, well, now I'm on the good team. I'm going to go and face the Rams here in a couple of weeks.
I love it.
That's pretty good. Brandon, you get the as we start the second half of the questions, you get to kick it off here. What do you got?
How about we follow the leader?
Following the leader. Okay. What if the defense can follow the instructions of Coach Mike? Are the players good enough to keep the Bills short of their league-leading 28.4 points a game if they just execute? Do we have good enough players to hold them under their average if they follow the leader's instructions?
I think the big thing when it comes to this is going to be how well we are able to cover downfield with this receiving core. I know in your intro you mentioned Keon Coleman, an explosive player. A lot of times what I've seen from Keon Coleman is when he's wide open downfield, it's because someone blew an assignment, and obviously a quarterback like Josh Allen's going to be able to find him and be able to deliver that and make an explosive play that way. So I think if our Seahawks are following their assignments and that they can cover guys like Amari Cooper and Keon Coleman, it's only when you get to some of those blown coverages that I think it can be a problem. Another problem, though, that I think they're going to have is at tight end. And I think with the way the Bills are able to use their tight end, that Dalton Kincaid's going to be a real problem. And when it comes down to that, 28, that's right on the verge. Like if I had to predict the score for the Bills, like 28 points seems about right. So can they keep them under their average? It's going to be real close. This is a really good Bills team. I think they have the ability to do it, like I said, as long as they're keeping to their assignments, but this is a really tough Bills team.
Okay, Clinton, can we do it? Do we have the talent, if we execute, to hold them under their points per game average? What do you think?
100% yes. 100%. Quite confident in it, actually. And not quite confident it's going to happen this game, but I'm confident in the answer that, the talent's there. And there's a couple things. Brandon mentioned Dalton Kincaid. That's a good call out. We play a lot of zone. Kincaid's very good against the zone. He's not great against man, but he's a tight end. There's not that many tight ends that are great against man, but he is good against zone. So they probably will leverage that quite a bit. The reason, though, that the Buffalo offense is scoring the way they score this year is because it's not Josh Allen hero ball all day long. This happened when they kicked Dorsey out the building. They changed over and they figured out that if they run the ball, and they've got a really, really good running back with James Cook. He's a darn good player. He's a great receiving back. He's a very good running back. And they figured out about halfway through last year, and then almost rode that to the Super Bowl, that if they really are run first, and that includes Josh Allen's legs, then it just alleviates so much of the pressure on Allen to not have to play hero ball. And oh, by the way, lo and behold, he has not thrown an interception this year as a result. So they're not turning the ball over through the air. The thing is, and you guys know I love to check in on the weather, this is going to be that first game in Seattle for the year that it ain't good weather. And it's looking like, and sorry for all the flockers that'll be traveling there, but at least, hopefully the seats are under the thingy. It'll be fun anyway. There you go. They're covered seats. They're very good. But, we're talking 55 degrees. That's fine. But 70 to 80% chance of rain right at kickoff. It's going to be raining. So sloppy track. That hurts players like Cook, in my opinion. It diminishes the run game across the board, which hurts us offensively. I don't think this game's going to be, that explosive. I expect it to be way more like a 21-20 style game. And so it all adds up to me that much more of a defensive struggle. Bills will not be able to run the ball as much as they would like to. And that's going to put a damper on this offense because they go through the run game this year. It's why Allen's so darn good.
Are they really run first now, or are they just no longer pass, run? I mean, they used to be pass, and then occasionally run.
They're like seventh in the league in run. They are. Josh Allen is fantastic. He's awesome. They are very run centric. They do not shy away from the run, guys. Like
they shied away from it against the Titans. They were up by 24 points, and they ran the ball 10 times in the second half.
Look at the team you just stated, dude. They're terrible. Titans are a bad team right now.
Maybe that's all the Titans can defend is the run. Maybe that was why. I don't know.
Well, they had Ernest Jones at linebacker, and I hear he's really good.
Yeah, so maybe that's all it takes. We get Ernest Jones, we'll turn him into a pass-heavy team again. I didn't know that they were run-centric. I just think they got away from the
They
Josh
run the
does
ball
everything.
a lot now. They're let's put it this way. They're way more balanced than they were first half of last year. Way more balanced. And that's all you need to give Josh a little relief. So he's just not in that hero territory all 4 quarters.
All right. We have the final 2. Clinton gets to choose which one Brandon will be stuck with. Clinton, where are you going?
Brandon's going to get stuck with co-leader because nothing about ties I like. So I'll take majority leader.
Majority leader. What if there is a single area that you believe we must earn the majority success share in? What aspect matters most in this game for us to have the majority of the success? Clinton.
Okay. Let me think on this. Majority success. Okay. I know I just spent like a half an hour saying that it's going to be sloppy out there and difficult to run the ball.
Yeah.
However, while that will afflict James Cook, I'm
I'm
hopeful.
not saying you expect it. I'm saying we need this. This matters
Well, okay,
most.
right. So, well, we need to run the ball, right? So,
Okay.
and that's not. There's no magic. Like these are not magic words. When K9 is the star, and Gino can go be 18 of 28, but be surgical and when I say surgical, I don't mean dink and dunk. There's nothing dink and dunk about that DK touchdown. Like that is elite arm talent and gagoons paired into a great throw. But when K9 is the straw that stirs the drink, we ourselves are a better offense too. It's pretty darn simple. It's going to keep Josh Allen off the field, right? So we need long extended drives where we ourselves are run centric, and if we are up or it's a close game in the third quarter, Brandon, I know you and Adam just spent a lot of time talking about Grubb's decisions to still get super aggressive pass happy as opposed to putting the rock in K9's belly. So that's where we got to be successful, Phil. It's not even, I know it's the obvious answer, but it's the right answer in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, K9 is best running the football. Unfortunately, I mean, I love the guy, the way he runs. He's been a little bit of a bummer in pass pro, and he also ruined one of DK's great touchdowns this year by goofing up and not realizing where he was supposed to be on time. So he's got to get that stuff cleaned up, and there's going to be no reason to take him off the field. He's a phenomenal running back, but did you watch? I mean, I rewatched the game last week. There was two horrific blocks that about destroyed a pass play where he easily had the guy did nothing to him. So, I mean, as awesome as a runner is, he needs to hone in a couple of those things that make him a great pro. And I'm afraid all the Seahawks fans are going to think, "Oh, Phil's a K9 hater." I'm just simple, regular, professional running back stuff. I want to see him get that cleaned up, and I do want to see him have great success. How about you, Brandon? We have to have the majority success share in what aspect of this game?
Well, I'll come back at you a little bit with the K9 commentary. Like with your running back, the primary thing is that he's really good at running the ball. And so,
and he
some
is.
of those secondary things, it's like asking, I don't know, JSN to throw a football. Like
Yeah,
that's, I hope that he's not
But-
asked to that a whole lot.
Yeah, but you need to line up in the right spot at the right time if you're one of the 11 dudes out there, right? Don't you think you should not ruin touchdowns?
He lined up in the right spot. He was just moving his feet a little bit on that one. And that was a little bit ticky-tack by officials. Officials also ruining this game between the Vikings and Rams as they missed an obvious face mask call as Sam Darnold was brought down into the end zone as the Vikings were about to make their touchdown scoring drive and tie it up. And instead, the stupid Rams get the 2 point and then they get the ball. And it's game over, I think, for the Vikings.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. Well, Clinton left the most important aspect on the board, thinking that he took an obvious one. But I think that our Seahawks could actually lose the battle in the run game this week and still come away with the victory as long as we win the turnover battle. Geno Smith cannot turn the ball over and give extra possessions to Josh Allen and the Bills because this offense is just so explosive that if we're going to give them one, a short field, and two, extra possessions, the Seahawks have no ability to win this game. Geno Smith has to take care of the football. The wide receivers, they've got to make sure that once they catch it, they hang on. K9 can't be turning it over either. We have, and our defense. How about we get some takeaways, guys?
K9 doesn't turn the ball over, right? I don't see him doing that. Have you seen K9 turn the ball over? He's great at that.
No. But I don't want to leave him out, and then you're calling him out for his pass blocking, and then he goes and fumbles the ball against the Bills because he's worried about pass blocking more than holding onto the football.
I mean, sacks matter too. They ruin drives. That's half a turnover.
Gino almost got sacked because K9 missed a block. Okay, well, JSN almost threw an interception because he was asked to throw a pass.
Yeah, I got you.
We got the snail here too with a great one. He says, "I want my D line to be Big Cat Murphy." He's calling for Aaron Donald to come out of retirement and join Jones. So hey, a boy could dream. We like it, Snail.
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it. That's the Bills' huge advantage. The difference, their extra win, I'm sure, has a lot to do with their turnover margin. We look great when we win the turnover battle. There's no doubt about it. We got one category left. And of course, that gets to go to
Me.
Brandon.
Is there a duo? We talk about co-leaders. Is there a duo that concerns you most from the Bills? What if you pick one side of the ball and your co-host picks the other? So a duo you're worried about on the Bills, you pick offense or defense. Clinton will go with the other one.
All right. Yeah. The duo that I am most concerned about when it comes to the Bills is that duo of running backs. And whether it's James Cook and Ray Davis runs real hard too. But you could almost call the duo James Cook and Josh Allen, the way that Josh Allen ends up running the ball. They really do. It's more of a trio when it comes to their ability to run the football. But yeah, for the sake of running backs, it is what we've seen them struggle with, facing the Lions. It was something that we had to worry about against the Falcons. Fortunately, we were able to contain one half of the duo from the Falcons. Algier didn't really beat us too badly. It was, it was all Bijan. But we'll see if we can do something similar here with containing their running backs. And hopefully Ernest Jones has something to say with that now that he's our middle linebacker.
Yeah, one of my favorite people last week was the Falcons offensive coordinator just taking the ball away from Bijan. That was
take it from Algier, you mean? Yeah,
that was a huge,
both those guys.
Yeah, a huge benefit for us. How about you, Clinton? A duo that concerns you. You get defense then.
Well, I'm going to first say that I think Ryan nailed it with Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas, right? So
that was
I've got some starting lineup action figures that would like to play in this game right here with Kelly and
Bruce
Thomas.
Smith. You're going to say Bruce Smith, aren't you?
That's it, and Biscuit Cornelius Bennett as well, right? So because they were some fun teams, in spite of not winning the chip, they were good teams. Okay, I talked about the defensive backs and specifically really the cornerback room being solid early. Without DK, or we don't know, we'll see if DK plays, but that'll be just interesting. That's not the one I'm going to focus on. Their defensive end pairing, I think, is at least good, very active, and one of the players who I'll go into a bit more detail in a second, one of the two, is very boom or bust. And sometimes I don't like that because they tend to have boom games against us because our O-line has just been what it is. But that's AJ Epineza and Rousseau, right? Greg Rousseau, who they call Groot because he's just this long, lanky, super athletic body. He's got 3.5 sacks on the year. Epineza's got 4 sacks on the year. So it's a nice defensive end pairing, and they're very different. Like Epineza is like the quintessential try hard, like motor for days, does not stop motoring. Causes lots of panic and pressure, gets home pretty well. Again, 4 sacks on the year, had a good number last year. And then there's Rousseau, who I'll give some love to my boy Louis Piazza, who was talking with him today. He's a huge Bills fan. He goes, look, Groot will have these spike games, these big spike games, and then he'll disappear. Like he would just be like not on the stat sheet, not have a good game. And again, you could run at these guys a bit. So their run D is their ability to create pressure is pretty strong. And it's like in a vacuum, I think they're above average DNs as a pairing against our offensive line that's still really figuring things out. I think any of that gets elevated naturally because of the state of our line. So it's just going to be another one of those things where Gino's got to do dancing Gino things and dance in the pocket and create a little bit of space. So Phil, I'm worried about that because this is a pretty good pairing, man.
If there's something I struggle at professionally, Clinton, I want you to describe it for me because I like our offensive line is still figuring things out. I like how you put that.
I spent maybe 1 or 2 decades too long in corporate America, so you can thank that for that.
That was fantastic. Okay, this is our From the Flock. This is our From the Flock section. We get to consider their wishes that they put in the well leading up to our live show. We had Nate Schutz. His wish, what if Superhawk? Seahawks stuff the run. Is that too much to ask for? Is that like a beyond wish? I mean, do you have to really drop a lot of coins in the well to have that happen? I would I would love to see that. K9 gets 100 yards
I love it.
rushing. We were so close last week. I'm wishing extra hard. That's what you do. You just wish extra hard, Hold
Absolutely.
on to the magic hat you have there. Smokey the Bandit, wish Mr. Josh turns over the ball twice due to all the pressure. Sounds like they were pre-listening to the show. We would like to see some turnovers from pressure. Tough to do. If we do that, that's a huge success story for McDonald and his boys, no doubt. Designed Pete's Beach House. DK doesn't play unless he's 100%. Now that's a sad wish. That's a sad wish. But maybe she's right. He can still play even when he's not 100%. He's a tough dude. Josh wants more Bobo. I don't think Gino wanted more Bobo at the end of the game. He did not look happy on that huge play that Bobo dropped. Hopefully he got that out of the way. We won't have to see that again. Josh DeHuman has a wish. Ernest Jones, 4, gets a sack and or turnover for his first game with the Seahawks. Friends, you have any comments about any of these, Brandon?
Oh, just really enjoy seeing all the wishes come in. We saw some wishes early on from our folks in the live chat. And I think I'll be taking some inspiration from wishes this week as well.
Yeah, very good. I'll throw this one on screen there for Ryan. Wishing that Draymond basically just keeps on getting better and better and better, and it lists a smattering of ways that can happen. So, and Brandon, hope I didn't, give away the ghost there for you, but I always want to give love to our executive live producer with that wish. The one thing I'll call out in the wishing well, I want to give some love to Smokey D Bandit. He called for last week, and he's like, we got to get turnovers. He's like, he was wishing big for turnovers. He got his wish. He nailed it. So, if we could put him on the old the Discord scoreboard, he gets a big check for hitting that last week. So good job, Smoke.
DK blocking with no
All right,
hands.
911 saying DK blocking with no hands this week. We've seen 2 hands, 1 hand. Let's step it up. No hands.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love it.
And how about just eliminate any stretch plays, because all the refs think that they have to throw a flag on 50% of every stretch play.
Yeah.
If you tap somebody with your fingernails, you're going to get a hold. So yeah, I'm so sick and tired of that happening.
Might have to eliminate those. Yeah.
It's true.
Just don't even touch them, I guess. Just block them with your helmet or something. I don't know what you can do on a stretch play when you're the last guy on the outside. Okay, our What If Super Hawk from our hosts here this week. Clinton has to go first. Last week, we'll talk about what happened. I did write it down, and it disappeared on me. I know you guys were both super close. Oh, here we go. You were both super close. Clinton was hoping for a lot of in the passing game from K9. He just wished for so many things. One of them had to not come. 40 yards and a touchdown receiving, 5 catches. He didn't get the 40 yards, but
I don't know why I do these things. Why can't I just say a K9 touchdown through the air? That's enough, right?
And it was an awesome one. It was an awesome catch. I love how he caught that. And then Brandon, he wished for a great game from DK in the second half touchdown when, of course, DK was on the sideline. So that was when we had more Bobo, unfortunately.
Yeah. Why do I do this to myself? If I would have just said DK touchdown, it could have been enough. And hopefully Marshawn has enough to get in on his first ballot for his Hall of Fame bid. The Snail, a member for 25 months.
Dude,
we're past the 2-year anniversary. We're to the quarter of 100 months mark. And yes, I'd like to see Marshawn get on the first ballot too.
No, he for sure. You got a name like Beast Mode. How can you not be Hall of Fame?
He's got to be there. I'm not going to be upset if I'll be upset if he doesn't get in on the first ballot. But there's a part of me that says it's maybe not likely he gets the first one, maybe the second one.
What I love about football, it's Hall of Fame, and it means Hall of Fame. It's not Hall of tabulating statistics. And he's got a famous style. He's got all the things that he does in the press. He's got the best name, the best nickname, if you want to use that term, moniker of any player in sports. And he's got the greatest run in the history of the National Football Game. And he got the most famous didn't get the ball play. He's got all the things to be famous. How do you not get in first ballot when you're beast mode? Right, Clinton?
Oh, yes. Look, to me, and I love that we could pivot to this real quick. And thank you, Snail, for 25 months. That's amazing. And anybody else out there, again, the likes and subscribes, and you could join right here on YouTube as Snail did 25 months ago as a trailblazer. It'd be awesome. We'd appreciate it. But, to me, guys, talking about beast mode, he was always, from the moment that I was watching him, even before he came to Seattle, he to me was just like, okay, this guy's modern day Earl Campbell. And then, okay, you do that for a year or 2 or 3. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. That you're not going to get into the Hall of Fame that way. But then he did it for the rest of his career, and it got better and he got stronger. And then everything you just said, Phil, like he has all the additives that are like, this is a Hall of Fame running back in every sense of the word. And he was the heart and soul of one of the most dominant teams offensively, right? Obviously, LOB is the LOB, but he was the heart and soul of the offense as well. So, yeah, man, he's a Hall of Famer.
Juiced
it's
everybody.
It's got to be, and if he doesn't make it first time, he'll get in. But yeah, come on, first ballot, let's go.
Yeah, we got to get Holmgren in too.
Yeah,
that'd be
nice.
There's
a lot of good guys. Who's your what if Super Hawk then? It can't be Marshawn as much as you might want it to be.
Yeah, I want it to be Marshawn.
I mean, Bills Seahawks. It makes sense, right?
It does. It really does. Oh God, I don't know where I'm gonna go today, man. I am okay. I'm gonna go. I don't even like this one. I'm gonna go here. It's what I'm feeling, and I want to be right. Okay, so Noah Fant has been pretty successful in the last couple of weeks. Some of that is simply Geno dancing, getting out, and then finding him in crucial moments. Again, I talked about that. I like this cornerback room. There's other parts of the Bills linebacking core. I think it's Terrell Bernard. He's probably not going to play. He's their middle linebacker. He missed practice again today. He's like by far like their best dude. The guy behind him is like a way better run stuffer, and he's slow. So let's use the middle of the field. If it's a sloppy track out there, a little windy, shorter passes. So to put that all in a bottle and say, what do I want? Let's go with, I'm going to do it again. 4 receptions, 55 yards for Noah Fant or more. Bottle that up, make that a wish, and just effective plays that that are. I'm not going to say how many times he gets a first down, but just effective plays, and we know when we see it. Four receptions, 55 plus for Noah Fant.
That's totally reasonable. That's a good wish. 4 receptions, 55 yards for Noah. They're probably all first downs, but we won't require that of you.
Right.
Brandon, what's your what if Super Hawk this week?
Clinton makes some silly decisions sometimes. So do I. And I'm probably going to do it this week too, because my what if Super Hawk is going to be Byron Murphy. And the way that he's going to get to 5-0 as a member of our Seahawks is that he's going to be so disruptive that we end up nearly matching the sack total for Josh Allen to this point in the season. He has 3. I say we get 2 sacks on Josh Allen or a sack fumble. That would also count. So, but if it's
a fair trade-off, and I approve that.
Okay, Clinton approves of the trade-off, but I just think that just to get to 2, it's going to show that Murphy is a legitimate disruptor that the Bills' offensive line has to worry about, and it's going to allow some of those other guys like Draymond Jones, like Boye Mafe, like Derek Hall to get home, maybe even Ernest Jones with a delayed blitz up the middle and taking down Josh Allen to say, hey, welcome to the Seahawks, buddy.
Love it. So we have not Murphy getting the sacks, but he's disruptive and allow his teammates to get the 2
and he
sacks.
might get one too, but I can't pick him to be like a 2 sack guy. That would really be silly.
That's kind of crazy. Just do his thing. Okay, we have Clinton. You matched this guy on the screen just about now with beside the hat. You got the beard right at that level.
Let me show people behind the curtains here. Here we go. I'll put my glasses on.
That is him. That's him right there.
Oh, it's like Superman.
I'll do this. I'll do this in a corporate, D-bag kind of way, and look this way, right? So there we go. That's me.
Yeah. Okay. We got to predict the scores, and look at this score now. The same record as the Bills is the record that Brandon has, because he picked a wider margin of victory, and that's what we had. By 1, Clinton only picked a 2-point margin. Brandon picked a 3-point margin. So that's how close a lot of these have been. Even though Brandon's winning by 3, he's a sliver victory kind of guy. That's what he does. Clinton, you get to set him up this week, so you get to pick the score at this point.
Oh man, this is a difficult game, and I'm not sure we win.
Yeah.
With that, I'm never gonna say we're not gonna win.
You're still predicting a win. Okay.
I'm never not gonna pick us to win. I'm just not. Even if in my
It's
heart,
not
I'm like,
picking,
this
it's
is a tough
predicting.
one. Yeah. Exactly. I want us to win. I've got to believe we're going to win. I'm going to throw out some weirdness and say, and I was calling lower scoring early for some of the reasons, 22-20. And I'll say one last thing as to one other piece of analysis is that the Bills kicking game with Seabass, Tyler Bass, he's not good. He is like but he's in his own head. Like a couple of years ago, he was a good, powerful kicker. He's like a shell of himself. He kicks some like sometimes like 35 yarders that are like hitting the bottom of the net and they're like 10 yards wide. It's just weird. He's a bad kicker at this point. 22-20. Somehow Tyler Bass is goofing up. Not saying it's last second Norwood style. I'm just saying they just don't put it through the uprights at some point. Comes back to bite them. We win by 2.
That on the other side of their special teams, that kick returner, number 28, it's like Codrington. That dude is dynamic, but the ball's everywhere. I think there's a great shot at maybe getting a turnover. Now he might blow by us for one, but that ball is out there. Maybe 48 or one of our exciting guys on special teams can put Kobe out there on special teams. He'd punch it out for us maybe.
I like it.
There's a chance there. Brandon, what do you got for the score?
Yeah, I first want to recognize our, Ryan in the chat saying 22-20, we get 11 safeties. And if that ends up being the case, then I am definitely hitting on my wish, because out of 11 safeties, 2 of those have to be sacks for sure. So then it doesn't even come down to the score for Clinton.
You would think.
How many 999s does Ryan have to put in the wishing well to get 22 safeties to come true?
11 safeties for 22 points. Yeah, it's gonna be, it would be some kind of record, but it would be awesome.
Yeah.
And we'd also get the win. I like that Clinton gave me another little window because I took it against the Niners a couple weeks back, but I mentioned 28 points earlier for the Bills. That felt right to me. And I'm going to say our Seahawks with 31 points. So I'm not taking the window. I'm going for the Seahawks to get the win.
You are taking the window. You're taking a Seattle win. That's your window you're taking.
Outside of that window, 31-28. The curse wheel from Brandon Perna is right. The Bills go down, and we get to watch a live win.
Okay. I like
Love
it.
it.
I like it. I don't even know what else to say. You juiced me up right there, Brandon. I'm so stoked that you had the chance to go 29-28 and you went 31. That gives us all hope, because we know that Brandon wins a lot on this predicting.
I know what I'm doing. It's like especially when Clinton gives me a window and I decide not to take it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what else to say. Is there anything else in the chat? Are we good?
I think we're good with the chat. Just want to remind, I think, Brandon, if you could remind folks that maybe you want to go to the game or meet up, just to remind them of that stuff. But that's probably about it.
Yeah. Meet up Saturday night in Tukwila, Bahama Breeze. Make sure you RSVP so that way we have enough seats. And then it is Drunken Pizza and Pocha? What is that? Is it Pocha? Pocha. It's a new place in Seattle I haven't checked out yet, but it was at the old Pizza Professional place that we used to go to. And that's where we're going to meet up after the game. Also RSVP, because we just want to make sure, again, we have enough. And so you can RSVP in the Discord. You can email me, gohawks@seahawkerspodcast.com. Let me know you're going to be there, and we're going to have a great time.
Sweet. And then last thing I'll add in is I appreciate we got well over 100 people hanging out after a Thursday night football game that started during the Thursday night football game. So very much appreciate all that. And if you're still here, the likes, the subscribes, they all help a ton. And Phil, I think you were the leader of the pack this week, my man. That was a great theme. And I think you let out with something real special that allowed us to talk Seahawks and have a beautiful Thursday evening. So thank you, Phil.
Yeah, it's been a fun time. It's been a fun time. I think
Yeah.
with that, Brandon, what if we say,
Go Hawks.
go Hawks?
Go Hawks.